Hi ladies, so today we're taking the shadow box just that little bit further to show you how you can make this beautiful frame all the way around. When we did the original version, I think we had a 1 centimetre frame, but I've expanded it to just give you a different idea. This is a card that I've done for Peter's dad's birthday tomorrow, and I thought it gave him something to look at rather than just a card that would be put away. So there we go. I started off with a 21 centimetre piece of card, a square card, and I've cut myself 4 pieces of card which I have scored. So it's 21 centimetre square for this piece, and then these pieces are 21 centimetres any length, but we're going to score at 1.5 centimetres, 4, 6.5 and 9. Okay, so put those up there. So I've done 1.5, 4, 6.5, 9, and this is just scrap. Okay. So on that scrap piece there, tape just ran out, so as I've got a big flange here, I'm going to put 2 bits along, and then I want to fold over on here on the last line. So that is now fixed. Turn it round, and I fix the second side. So opposite, fold it over, lined up on there, and there is our second one beautifully lined up. Now let's go back to the next 2, and I want to have the 1.5 flange at the top, and remember we've got a 2.5 centimetre top to the frame, so I'm going 2.5 down to the second line, turn it over, 2.5 to the second line, there's my flange at the top, 2.5 to the second line, flip it that way so it's easier for you to see, 2.5. Now I want this to be a fairly tight fit, so I'm going to go to the right side of the score line. So I'm keeping right to the edge, get down to the bottom, turn and diagonal down to this bit, and I find it easier to come up from this side. There we go. So there's one ready. Right, to the outside of the score line. If you need to trim this later, that's fine, but if you cut too much off, you're going to have a gap. from there to there. So there are my 2 bits, and we're going to stick these on exactly the same as we did the others. Let's prepare these. It doesn't matter what depth you have here because it's going to be covered over. Right, flop that on there, line it up with both edges, and then just press down. Coming back with this one, line it up with the edge of the card and just fold it down. There's our 4 pieces. Okay. Now on these flanges here, we're going to put a double-sided tape. We're going to prepare all 4 flanges at the moment. There we go. There's the 4 flanges. Now we want the longer flanges first, and we're going to be sticking it down on the 3rd line. So 1, 2, 3rd score line. Fold it over, trust it's going to go in the right place. One, two, 3rd line, fold it. Now this is where we just test. If I fold this over here, looking at this edge here, it should just come inside the score line, and this one I can see that there's a minute piece here where I've just cut a little bit extra. Right, let's check that. That's all within there, the lines. So my heater's gone off and my hands are getting cold. Right, so again, 3rd line, fold it over, and then nice and tight inside there. Turn it over, 3rd line, fold it over. That's all there is to it. So now we can stand these up and look at the lovely mitered corners we've got. Right. So I'm now going to take these. I'm going to put a small amount of wet glue in each of those corners there, and I've got my elastic bands ready, and so I'm going to onto there. There we go. Make sure that they are nice and tight to begin with. I've got some larger elastic bands here which won't ping off quite so much. So I'm going to take them, do the opposite pull on the frame. So 2 elastic bands are not really good enough. You need to pull from all four sides to make sure that it's right. So that is going to be drying over the next few minutes. There's my area that my picture is going in, and I need to cut my picture to fit inside. So you have a little bit of leeway with this flange as it's a coloured one. So let's take a look what size I need. Remember, we started off at 21. We've got 2.5 each side, so we are down to 16 centimetres. Okay, so I'm going to go and cut that. Right, I've cut my picture to 16 centimetres, so that is going to go inside there, and I'm going to use wet glue so that I've got just a tiny bit of wiggle room. So I'm going into there, there we go. And I can just twist it very slightly. There is my picture. Right, now we're going to have a look at putting our frame. So if this was 2.5, I've now got 2 centimetre strips. Okay. Now the first one I'm going to do is from this edge here to this edge here, and I'm going to do it cut straight. So I'm going to take a smidgen off there. So there you are. You can see that I'm going to have a small amount top and bottom and a small amount each side. So I take my next one and I cut that exactly the same size. So that is top and bottom prepared. So let's add those. Now, one of the good things about this as well is the top and bottom are going to go across these mitres, which seems a shame until we actually do it. So it will help to hold those mitres together. So here's my first one. That is going on, and because I've used wet glue, I have that little bit of wiggle room. That one doesn't seem to be catching on that top edge. So there we go. There we have, and I'm just going to just put that on there for a few seconds just to hold it in place. Okay, I can now turn it round. This piece is going opposite. That. There we go. There, and if you want to just hold it for a second. There we go. Now I want to turn it so I can work on the sides. Right, we've got these two straight edges, but we've lost the mitres. So I'm going to place that on there, onto there, and I'm going to put a little mark there and a little mark there. That's the length I want my next two pieces. So I'm going to take my scissors and snip. Now we want to put our mitres back in. So what I'm going to do is to take my pieces here, put them at right angles, make sure these two areas are level, take my scissors and chop through. Okay, so I've now got those two bits. Right, I'm going to then take this one, put those two at right angles, and then put my scissors on the corner and chop through to where they cross. Let's take those off, and I don't even need to try it. I know that these will go straight into place. So I'm going to place that onto there, that onto there, turn it round and go with this one. There we go. So now you can see we've got mitered corners around a beautiful frame, and say I'm not putting acetate on this one because I want to build up the bits in between. If you want to put acetate on, then put the acetate on before you do the frame on the top. But let's go back to this one. I'll leave that in the distance. And on here I've put a piece on the back which is for my message to Dad, and this bit has got acetate on the front, and excuse me, just a simple for you Dad on there, but it's got a matching happy birthday inside. Okay, so that's how to make this beautiful frame on your shadow box, and it makes it all the more look like a picture, so it's kept out sort of for long after the event has taken place. Okay. Enjoy. God bless.